Hi, so I've been meaning to do probably a few more videos than I actually have done regarding the first rune I drew. I have pretty much kept it on me since drawing it, and I'm going to put it back into my pocket for now. Obviously there's a big temptation to think everything that I might have experienced since then can be attributed to the rune. I'm trying not to be that guy. But I'll just go over what's happened to date as we approach sort of the end of the first week and the first rune. Obviously, I purposefully did not look it up or look further into it other than I drew the rune. I've kept it on me and was seeing how my week would progress. So I'd say sort of on the first day, on Wednesday, I found some money, just a 50p piece, nothing too major. I know I'm not attributing it to anything to do with the rune per se. It was just something that happened, and I put that in my wallet, and in my wallet it stayed until, well, as you'll find out as I complete this video. Thursday, we're travelling up to York for the Asatru UK event over the weekend. And I would say sort of really Wednesday night and Thursday night in particular, I didn't have the best of night's sleeps. I mean, what I've been doing is I've been taking the rune and putting it under my pillows in bed, not doing anything active with the rune other than carrying it or keeping it about me. And it's fair to say that Wednesday night, Thursday night, I didn't sleep too well. All I'm really attributing that to is the fact that I was really conscious of having a rune under my pillow and no, not wanting to sort of casually in the middle of the night just having my hand go under my pillow for support and that, sometimes as you do, and knocking it underneath the bed or something. I'm not saying that there's anything about the rune itself other than its physicality that sort of did anything. It was just that sort of I was a little bit conscious of it, and probably just the pressure of I'm putting upon myself, probably of expectation for something or nothing to occur. It's just that sort of, I know, it's like having a fresh bruise and you just want to keep touching it and going ow or something along those lines. It's just that sort of, I don't know, almost recognizing a need to just sort of say, take some deep breaths and relax. So obviously Thursday we drove up to York, and it was a journey without any complications, and me and Jade had our friend Anita with us, who's been quite curious to see how my journey plays out with runes, and sort of in the process of discussing how I don't want to know what they are or what they can be, and to sort of come at them as blind as possible, just to have that open mind towards the vibes and how I feel about the rune, as experimenting into drawing and making use of the runes. Quick side note, just where Anita's concerned, she's Danish. She's obviously like us, very into Asatru. She is someone who knows a far greater amount about runes than me. So we get to York, and I know, trying just to sort of just see what happens. And obviously Thursday night don't have the best of sleeps because, you know, the added adjustments of sort of staying in a hotel, so I'm not in our normal bed, and a second night of having taken up this new practice of putting a rune under my pillow. Now obviously it's worth saying that with it being an Asatru UK event, the knowledge is there that we were going to be doing rituals and there were going to be talks and that, and being in York, going to shops. I mean, we went to the Jorvik Museum on Sunday. Not really relevant to this, but the chances of running into the rune is quite high. And I did well. I'd like to say I did pretty well. We found a couple of Viking shops, one of which I got this fantastic t-shirt from. Took a trip to Asgard. They had runes in there, and I was just like, resisted the temptation to look for the rune and look at it, just see anything around the rune. But by the time we get to the organisation coming together for the event, there are a few signs starting to sort of say that probably trying to keep this secret was going to get more challenging. Dan Coulter and Asatru had some books and some boxes of runes on display, and in particular there was sort of like a massive display of one rune. You can guess what rune it was. So anyway, we do our opening blot to sort of create a sacred space, and a bind rune was made, and there was a talk about how it was created of 3 runes, and the second of the 3 runes, you can probably guess what it was, and there was some brief discussion about it, but it was that at that moment I had some answers. It was just that, okay, so it's Lagus, also referred to as Lagu. I mean, it's probably like so many things that are steeped in ancient, archaic tradition and discovery. The names aren't so important as so much as the meanings, and in that moment it was explained that it's something that represents mystery. And of course, that's just one fraction of a wider understanding of the rune, but it was just important at that time. It was just like, wow, here we go. It's just that sort of the first rune I've drawn following this path is the rune of mystery. Little side note, when we was in Asgard, spending more money than we probably should have done, I happened to notice that there was some incense. Now, I don't normally buy incense. I normally leave that to Jade. In fact, she can't help herself. It's not a dig. I mean, the first thing she bought when we started walking around the streets of York was she bought some candles. Her big weaknesses are candles and incense. She hadn't bought any incense, so I just happened to see these little test tubes with some corks in and incense sticks. Pick them up just to have a look at it, and just a strange coincidence, it just happened to be ones devoted to Frigg, which has been for the past 6 months or so something of a quest for me to know Frigg better. And at this time of mystery, or mysteries being opened, and very much looking into opportunities to just go with the flow. I mean, let's take that catchword of flow, because that's one of the words associated with the rune, is the flow and association with water and that. Yeah, so I bought some incense before Jade did. That's she was impressed. We had a bit of a joke about it, and she ended up buying some incense over the weekend, but I beat her to it. And it was very much just a pleasant happening. I'm not saying I don't want to analyze it too much. It wasn't sort of Frigg was reaching out to me, or in a, I don't know, from a side direction to sort of give me some acknowledgement, because I don't ask for the gods to give me acknowledgement. They're bigger than me and have far more important things to do than to worry about me. I look to them, and I appreciate anything they send my way. I said that's how I deal with the gods. So anyway, that's incense story to one side. Back to the ritual, and just really that sort of knowledge being given to me by my friends and those that are colleagues in the association. I'm not going to say friends not made yet, perhaps. And obviously doing the ritual, having already made the decision that at some point I would be doing some meditation with the rune to sort of absorb it into my sort of power, so it become more of a part of me rather than a cold attachment to me. It felt right in doing the opening block to take that opportunity to open myself up, absorb or close myself down with the rune inside of that sort of center of power, and to now continue towards what it'll be tomorrow really, and Wednesday drawing the next rune, that now this first rune I'm more intimately connected to. So obviously the rest of the weekend has played out. Had a fairly decent time. I mean, it's since Grimnir's Moot was the first opportunity for our Wanderers kindred to all be together, sort of in the same vicinity, which was lovely. And really just sort of try and discover more about the rune. I mean, strangely, coincidentally enough, Dan Cortis did a massive talk on the Saturday about his book that he's just released, and very much so the talk was about the sea. The rune seems to have been the predominant rune of the weekend for us Archery UK. And again, it's just not drawing too much on that, but the timing and everything coming together is just worth of note. So yeah, we had a really good time. We've obviously been to the museum and enjoyed the little sort of ride through the setup they have, and I can't recommend York highly enough, really. It's a wonderful city. There's some really cool stuff, not just mentioning sort of Norse stuff, the shambles. We ate a lot, too much, drank a lot. If you follow my accounts on social media, obviously we made a point of going to to Valhalla. How could we not, being in York? There's a place to have more drink. We ended up going, and I'm really glad that we did, because we had a really good time with some old friends and some new. Perhaps the other thing to mention is doing our own thing around the schedule of Asatru UK, the Wanderer's Kindred. After unlocking the achievement of walking the city walls of York, we'd found a spot where we wanted to do our own sort of little ritual that we then sort of in the evening made our way to with some new friends also, and Vendel performed a wonderful ritual. Well, Vendel. And for me, as we were giving offerings and that, I'd sort of discussed how the rune, or pursuing the knowledge of the rune, was progressing. It's thus far, there's still a couple of days really. It's been quite peaceful. I've learned a lot. I haven't learned everything. I'm certainly not going to say that. That would be arrogant and presumptuous to sort of even consider that. I do feel at this stage I've got a very good basis for moving forward, and I don't think I could ask for a better start in looking to understand the runes better, to sort of feel that I can look at my books or other conversations about the rune, that I can approach them without them sort of pulling me away from the direction that I feel I want to look at it, or them look at the runes, because it's perhaps the most important thing for me is that I want to connect to them and come to an understanding with them that other people might very well disagree with. I might very well make some mistakes. I am cautious. I am concerned that that might happen, and that I have to sort of proceed cautiously with my eyes open, and not take them for granted, to not sort of treat them lightly or disrespectful. And I'm quite happy that that's progressing for the first week, certainly in a way that I'm happy with, and I look forward to the things Anita has mentioned for way down the path, once I've drawn all my runes, that she has something that she'd like to do with me regarding the runes that I look forward to. I feel very much like it's a test of some sort, but again, it's something I'll approach without fear. No, that's not wrong. That's not the right way to say it. It's not going to approach it without fear. I'll approach it with courage and the thirst for knowledge, the desire for knowledge, to understand mystery, to understand that I'm trusting in my intuition to reach a point that I'll be happy with. So I don't think there's much more to say. I mean, sorry if you've missed out on my videos for a few days. I thought I might have had a better opportunity to make a few videos, but we had a really busy weekend, and today we've just sort of been at home recovering. I mean, we've pretty much just finished watching Vikings Valhalla, something I may make a video on or not. I'm not sure. I'll be processing that for the moment. I was entertained, but that's for something else. This is talking about runes, and this is my conversation about sort of my first rune, my rune of mystery. I feel happy with progression and happy with connections that sort of are developing, and that I can give thanks to the forces that are perhaps watching over me, or even sort of giving me the opportunity to understand these mysteries. That'll be it for now. I'll see you soon, and if you've watched this, thank you very much. Cheers.